I feel like every video I click on now where I think I'm about to get someone's biggest introspective aspects, their thought process, their personal, here's my strong opinion about something in the world. And it always starts out with, I saw a TikTok today. I saw a video today. I came across this today on my phone, on my computer. Everything we see is just a form of media. The unfortunate part about this is everyone's content is being reduced and diluted down to something I saw today inspired me. And inspiration by itself is a great thing. There's nothing wrong with inspiration driving stuff. But when we rely on inspiration, when we rely on knowing that I don't have to experience the world, I don't have to actually go out and live life, to actually have personal stories, actually have a personal relatability that I seek, you become, and I notice this with myself, and I say this as somebody that has said this in videos. I do sometimes. I try to avoid it, ironically, by watching a video of someone saying, I saw a TikTok today that inspired, that really sparked a like. I keep hearing that. And you look at yourself. And the problem with this type of mentality, I guess you could say, is everybody's opinion is based off a topic that someone else talked about, that they talked about. And you listen to somebody talk long enough, you gauge your own thoughts, and then you're like, here's my point of view on something else someone else already kind of did the framework for. And I'm not saying every idea or thought or thing you put out there has to be the most original aspect. Unfortunately, originality can be very hard to naturally grow online. It can be very hard for you to get reach. Unfortunately, the more you play into what other people are talking about, it creates a culture and a nature to where you try to get on what's trending hot. You try to get into attack emotional strings of people that resonate and make people feel something. You notice patterns of what triggers people, of what gets people up in arms to click on your stuff. But it's not just people that do this, we know that we can fill every type of aspect of life by watching others. It's a reflection how we don't live anymore, and everything is just something we saw. We may add an opinion, we may enhance a perspective, or God forbid, the old forbidden word, nuance. When we are all just rambling and talking about the same stuff. Something, for example, I wanted to give. And I literally thought about this right before I pressed record. Think about the difference. If you ever seen a fight in person in real life, I would say most people have experienced two people fighting before, more than likely. If you went to public school, even if you didn't, you've probably been around and you've seen somebody get punched. We see the shit online, we've probably seen thousands, 10,000 videos of people of all ages getting into street fights, getting to school fights, getting, combat sports professionally. But when we watch them professionally, we understand they're both taking a measured protection with gloves, and they understand. But when it's street fighting, anything can happen. We watch as entertainment, we're like, oh shit, In real life, though, you see someone get punched in the face in real life with bare hands, and it's pure aggression. It is pure hatred what's happening, and there's nothing stopping them from continuing. That's a different, traumatic, anxious response it gives you. We watch crash outs every day. People losing their shit at fast food places for waiting too long. People going off in grocery stores and Walmarts. It's the running joke about Walmart just being crash out central. People losing their shit because it's an easy, convenient place to take your anger out. It's the difference. We watch stuff online. We may resonate and have like, shit, you know? You imagine yourself being at a similar place just a day ago and nothing happened, and now you see this and these two people are going insane, yelling and berating and all this shit. Except, like most people, if you've ever actually been in person, in the presence of when someone is crashing out, losing their shit, raising their voice, and like, you know, as a bystander, you know what, it puts you in an uncomfortable spot. You know, how much do you chime in? Like, when do you get in there when you try to levy a situation? Is someone going to take care? So your anxiousness raises through. Because when you went to the store today, you weren't expecting, oh shit, like, I might see, you don't know with people's actions these days what's going to lead to. Online, you watch it and we just kind of laugh about it and leave comments, put emojis, it's all fun and shit. In real life, it's not that fun to be around. It's very, you know, it can be a very anxious experience, even for people that aren't anxiety driven. So it creates this, we love extremism in general. We love, no one wants to sit there and watch, it's not fun watching a checkout line go smoothly. We want to watch crash outs online. But watching something in a video form creates a different reaction than when you actually experience it in real life. It's not fun. And what happens is you get disconnected from these situations for too long. Let's say if you're someone that you never go to the store, all your groceries are delivered to you, you always DoorDash, so your way of getting your fix in is kind of ironically by consuming people that are living that reality. You watch people having these incidents in a store. And that may be a reason why, because you see these 0.001% of incidents that happen when 99% you go to the store, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to see anything of interest. But we can rationalize, well, shit, I don't want to be put in that situation. 99.9% when people enter onto a school campus, chances are nothing bad is going to happen, but the 0.001% time it does, it freaks people out. So the more disconnected and disattached you become from doing these things, and everything just becomes, shit, I saw this online today. I heard this quote from this politician. I saw this article from this fill-in-the-blank news corporation. It's predictable shit. We only broadcast when it's the worst stuff. Because in person, being in those situations, just being around it, it's a different type of energy it brings to you. It really tests your how well are you equipped to deal with adversity. But just in general, most people don't leave the house. Most people don't go these places to avoid. It creates a sense of superiority, like, well, only poor people actually go to the store themselves, you know, that type of, because if you can afford it, why would you, right? But we stem to a sunken place, I don't know if that's the right term, to where our reality is watching some type of normalcy. It's the one few times you feel alive, ironically, looking through a computer screen or your phone. It's watching people with real emotion, for better or worse. We watch the best and worst of people. Where the more you kind of isolate yourself, which honestly, if you get a lot of stuff delivered to your house and you don't like going places, it triggers you tend to isolate in everything. Once you isolate one thing, it typically leads to another. I'm not saying you should be a social somebody or something like that, but I think it's important to leave the house every day or so, just to do something, go outside. It keeps you in tune with humans. But this is where you get people that are disconnected. And unfortunately, all of our opinions, our thoughts are stemmed from other people. Now, no one, at this point in time in life, chances are you're not going to have an opinion that no one in the history has ever thought. That's the thing when it comes to creativity, when you get into stealing and theft and music and all that stuff is, you know, unless it's blatant, it could be very hard to prove when someone just flat out steals music and stuff, because there comes a certain point, how many more different chord progressions, how many more beats and rhythms can you do? When it comes to this, unfortunately, doing a lot of the same topics that a lot of other people are talking about, when people are looking and click on those, your videos are gonna get pushed vice versa, and you know, that's just the name of the game. But I had this epiphany when I clicked on a video of someone just talking to a camera, and it's a smaller creator. Well, she's not a small creator. She has a bigger channel, but the channel I'll watch her is their smaller one. And, you know, I kind of like her stuff, you know. And it's not against her, because I do the same thing. Everything that you click on, most of these videos, we live in this reaction. People call it meta. Everyone's living the matrix. You got a guy reacting to one guy, reacting to another guy. And even if you're not directly reacting, you're using something to base your topic of conversation on. And then you kind of always have a reference of something that you didn't even sit down and originally come up with your raw, like you went online and looked for stuff to talk about. Again, there's nothing wrong with this inherently. But as consumers, you know, we just consume any and everything that someone else saw. Then we go see. Weirdly enough, we will watch people. And I saw this recently. See, I'm doing the same shit here. You know, that you can't escape it, unfortunately. There was someone I watched. There was this video going around. What was the topic about? Where she... But she was talking about, shit, sorry. I wish I could edit. What was she talking about? Bear with me here. Something with influencers or something like that. And the thing is she has a pretty sizable channel. But the video on her channel only had like, I think 67,000 views, which in comparison wasn't a lot to her others. But I see all these other react channels, or these other people that they use the video to create the topic for their video, but their video would get immensely more attention and views reacting to her video than her original video. You know, and me personally, I do think there may come a point to where if people are directly responding to your video, I'm not saying this as law, I do think there should be like for every time someone watches that, a view goes to your channel as well, because you're directly being a person that people are using. You know, that's my personal opinion. Everyone should get paid and split. I don't know how you split that, but if you were just playing somebody's video and then pausing it every couple minutes and giving your take, and it's a direct, and you're using direct footage for extended periods of time, I do think that person should get credit for the view, me personally, because it's kind of weird that the react channels are building everything up, and if people watch 2 or 3 reactions of her video, why would they go watch the video if they've already gotten all the information for these people stretching out that you could have watched their video in 18 minutes, but you watch these react channels for 30, 35 minutes, you end up spending an hour watching something essentially that you could have just took 18 minutes to watch. But that's the thing. We want that confirmation again that, like, I saw this. We're all, hey, I get the same stuff in my algorithm, kind of like confirmation, you know? And it brings credibility to, hey, I see the same shit that you do. We're all relatable. Again, like, I didn't want to make this video shitting on, you know, because we don't live life. That's just reality. It's weird that people are more like, you know, it's kind of like the trend of going off the grid, the trend of being off social media as you're posting on social media, which I do think is feasible. Like, I do think you can produce content. Like, I record on a camera. Yes, I have to upload to a laptop. Yes, I have to go in the... But you can create content and not really be online if your content isn't created around, relying on online videos for your content. You know, I do think that is possible. And I do think it will make you better. It will make you better in general. Because when you're used to having to rely on something as a source of entertainment to drive your show, to drive your opinions, to drive your thoughts, to drive your engagement, to drive your interest, when literally we wake up, and as people most days, we wake up most days saying, what does this app have for me today? We don't search for anything specific 98% of the time. We're just saying, entertain me. And when you do that, you can be convinced of a lot of stuff. Your entertainment is essentially what someone tells you is entertaining. Very rarely do we... I mean, you can subscribe to channels all you want. I'm subscribed to a lot of channels that I haven't been pushed a single video in my algorithm. And I'll randomly think of this channel. I'll be like, damn, I haven't seen this channel in a few months. Are they still active? And be like, yep, they're actually pretty active. They've recorded, you know, consistently since that time. They recorded a video just yesterday. And not a single thing was pushed to me. So it just goes to show that you are not in control of what you actually watch for the most part. It's the illusion of it, which I'll get into another video that I'm actually going to record later today. But when you don't go outside, when you don't live life, and most of your stories, and I have to remind myself of this, I notice the days that I actually do stuff in the real world, I go outside, I exercise, I at least get outside, I at least am around people at a coffee shop or something. Like, it's not like completely life-changing, but it makes you more regulated, if that makes sense. And those little things over time, just being somewhat incorporated with people, incorporated in society, if you want to call it, it makes you have more to say naturally. You feel more sharper, you feel more on top, you feel like you have a reason. You're not just recording a video because it's habit type of thing. You're not just consuming content because that's just what you do at this time of day. You're like, I actually want to search for something specific. I want to learn something. I want to feel something specific. But when you don't seek anything specific of desire, you know, you're just as much as a part of the system as you complain about. People online are so obsessed with not being a part of the Matrix, yet they're commenting on videos complaining about the Matrix when they are participating in the same thing that evolves and all that blah blah blah. All this video stems from, I saw a TikTok. I saw this today. I came across it like someone slid a fax on my door at my office that my assistant, hey, I came across this today. It's like, nah, you came across something that had 800,000 views. Like, it came across a lot of people. And we're all guilty of it. So, I want to make this video just as a reminder that try to, have the source of what you consume and what you watch and what you do. Make sure you're like ahead, in front of it. Don't let it dictate how you think. Don't let it dictate why you do what you do. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say. So, yeah. Meet.